Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Jumari Rantas and I am with Bayhana Sailila to discuss digital humanities and literary studies. So I believe this topic will be the last topic that we have in this course. And yeah, in this topic, digital humanities and literary study, we will explore the development in the field of literature, the way technology is transforming how we analyze and understand or study literary text. And this development in the field of literature is what we call digital humanities. But before we proceed to our discussion of this topic, let's have first our learning outcomes. So first we have uh, yeah, we before at the end of the lesson, students are expected to differentiate traditional literary criticism from digital method, discuss the benefits and challenges of digitalized literary criticism, and perform textual analysis through Buoyant tools. So I hope that at the end of this discussion, we would be able to meet all of those. So digital humanities. It says here that it is a domain that merges computing tools with humanistic inquiry. So basically, this digital humanity is an area of study wherein it brings together digital tools with humanistic researches. So it combines together the technology like text analysis software with studies like history, literature, philosophy, or anything that is covered in humanities. But then in this discussion, we will be focusing just on literature or in literature. So in literary studies specifically. So this kind of method or this digital humanities gives us new way to read and analyze text, not just by line, but across entire collection of novels, poem, or plays, or anything that is literary text. So basically, digital humanities allow us to analyze broader area in literary pieces. We can analyze uh, different novels in just few clicks. We can analyze novels of different authors on how they differ from each other, how their styles differ from other authors, and so on and so forth. So that's digital humanities. So the use of computational tools and digital method to analyze the present research in humanities. So traditionally, we study literature or we criticize literature through close reading or looking carefully at language, form, symbol, just like what we did in our previous discussion. We find meaning into specific passages or behind symbols that is mentioned in the piece. That method is very important and it gives us a lot of um, a lot of opportunity to study a piece. But then these digital tools, uh, we can now go beyond single text. We can analyze different texts all at once. We can analyze thousands of passages all at once. We can track emotional tone. We can count how many words are in there, and um, that is the offer of digital humanities. Now, uh, we have to remember that digital humanities doesn't replace traditional literary criticism. It only supplement or it only help us to it helps and it adds to it, opening a new way to think about literature in this digital age that we are in today. Now, how can this digital humanities help us to analyze, to have a broader insight about different pieces? But before that, let's track first kung how or when this kind of method started. So this digital humanities actually started back in mid 20th century, um, and it was first called humanist computing. So at first, the scholars were just starting to experiment with the use of computer to analyze text, but then it has grown from that time, and ngayon marami na siyang nakakover. And what are some of those? Okay, so now Digital Humanities offers text analysis software. We have Yeah, we have text analysis software, we have data visualization, we have digital archives, we have collaborative platforms. So basically, this analysis, text analysis software, uh, includes those Voyant tools. Don't worry, we will be discussing that later. It will help us to explore different field like the word frequencies. We Some tools offer us to analyze mode, the sentimental analysis, and in data visualization, it we can actually have this in some digital tools or text analysis software, like for instance in Voyant that we have, or the example in the number one. Voyant offers us data visualization of data visualization or visualization of data that we wanted to analyze, or we wanted to know. And we have the digital archives, those we have websites that offers us access, offer us access to literary pieces, or some writers can upload their pieces there. And then we have collaborative platforms wherein writers can collaboratively work and their piece and stuff like that. But don't worry, we my partner and I will discuss that those later, in a way na maiintindihan natin. So, yeah. Now, before we proceed to um, how technology reshape the way of literary criticism, let's have a very quick review on what we had, or what the traditional way of literary criticism. So what are those? Those are the literary criticism that we had in our previous discussion. We have formalism, we have instructionalism, we have Marxism, we have psychoanalytic, and many more. So, but this those are lenses are very important. They are very essential on how we analyze text, because we carefully look on every detail that a piece have, or a piece have. But then we are now in the digital tools now that can work with those literal or traditional methods. So let's remember again that digital tools do not replace a traditional way of literary criticism, but it offers new perspective on how to study literary pieces. So with that, let's proceed to the impact of technology in literary criticism. So we have here identified five, and the first two will be discussed uh, by me, and the following three will be discussed later by Hannah. Now, what is this distant reading? Okay, so before that, we have close reading that I believe I mentioned earlier, and we also have the distance reading. close reading and distance reading. So what is this close reading first? For us to differentiate their ways. So close reading is the careful, de- detailed analysis of a short passage or text, focusing on its language, structure, tone, and literary devices. So from there, we can say that the close reading is what we did in our previous discussions. We carefully look onto those on the language, on how the literary device is being used in the piece, how the specific symbol represents something, and stuff like that. So we carefully look onto those information that we have in a specific text. So before we can compare it to other authors and stuff, we have to only give our focus solely on a specific text. Okay, so that is what we call close reading. So all of those topics or lenses that we had in our previous discussion are all close reading. So what is this distance reading? Distant reading ba? So this distant reading is coined by a scholar named Franco Moretti, if I'm not mistaken with the pronunciation of the name. It is the analysis of large volumes of text using computational tools, often without reading every word. So it is distance reading happened with the use of computers, digital tools, or gadgets that we have to analyze large volume of text, the hundreds of or thousands of text all at once. So that's its distant reading. So what is the goal of this distant reading is to analyze the large volumes of text, to analyze the patterns or the styles of the author, since we can analyze different, for instance, different novels from different authors, written by different authors. So we can analyze, or it helps us analyze their styles, how differ or how similar the author writes, or we can also analyze different novels by just an author, and we can see how the theme changes over time and stuff like that. So we cannot, or it's not that impossible, but it's hard if we try to do this in close reading. So with the help of the technology, we can now analyze the big, wide, or large volume of text uh, with just few clicks and a few minutes lang. So distance reading involve what we call it involves counting words frequencies. It counts how word is, or how often the word is used in a text. We have it involves identifying common themes, and over time using seeing data visualization to show trends, comparing text across genres, periods, and authors. So was that's that were uh, that was the things that I have mentioned earlier. Okay. I hope that you understand what is the difference between the close reading, that which is the digital uh, traditional way, and the from the distant reading, which is a way of literary criticism with the help of technology. Now let's proceed to text analysis tools. So these text analysis tools um, helps us to do the work, to do the analysis in literary criticism with the help of technology. So we have identified here three uh, three analysis tools. that is commonly used by scholars or by students, and we chose those tools that is convenient and would I think we can use this in the future. Uh, in the future, yeah. So let's have first the Lexus. We will discuss later what is this Voyant tools, but let's go first in Lexus. So what is this Lexus? So it's a web-based uh, software that offers us many things. So uh, Lexus offers us data cleaning, clustering based text based on style and consent, heat maps or word usage, and that is best for stylometric analysis, comparative analysis of literary styles of authors. So uh, actually, it's good. Itong Lexus is actually a good software. It's a free web-based software wherein it allows us to analyze or to identify the styles of authors. We can compare the style of an author from other author, and yes, that is Lexus. And next is we have Python or NLTK Python. It offers sentiment analysis, part of speech tagging, word frequency analysis. So, itong word frequency analysis, we have we can uh, we can have this or other tools offers this. Itong sentiment analysis, I believe wala ito sa Voyant tools, and even sa Lexos wala siya. So ito yung I think I a great offer ng Python sa text analysis. It is best for tone mode detection, and that's another thing na magandang offer nitong Python, since wala other tools do not offer um, tone mode detection. Dito sa Python, we can actually analyze the if sa text is most of nagdi-discuss siya, or uh, it contains this anger, the emotion of the characters is happy, ganon. And then character study, doon in-study niya din yung uh, character ng characters ng piece, and we have also theme tracking. So those are the things that it offers, and kung iisipin, before I discuss the Voyant tools, kung iisipin, this Python NLTK Python is the best among these three. But then the problem here is that we cannot it's not easy to use Python NLTK. Hindi siya uh, hindi siya convenient to use sa mga students pa lamang. Kasi it requires coding daw. You need to code things pa. So basically, it's hard for us. We have to learn it pa before we can use this Python. But actually, I think it's the best tools among those three that I have mentioned earlier. So yeah, if you wanted to access this, we have this link here that I put in case you are curious to see kung paano nga ito siya nag-work. Okay, so yes, next here is we have Voyant tools. So ito yung nilast ko because this is the tool that I tried and I think is convenient for all of us to use, and madali siya aralin. Uh, only yeah, we have here yung link din, and we have here I put also yung link ng video, my video sa YouTube, which helps us to understand how to use these tools this tool. So yeah, I think maganda yung tutorial niya doon because it's a step by step and it teaches us how this tool function. But for now, I will discuss only what I will discuss later kung paano ito i-use um, yeah, how these Voyant tools function. So first, let's explore first what it offers. It offers word clouds. It offers word clouds. So basically, ito yung cloud of words wherein we can see uh, the bigger words there. It means that it is if we see the biggest word there, it means that that word was most mentioned in a piece. We have frequency tables, we have contextual word usage, makikita natin doon trend graphs across chapter or text. So yes, that's Voyant tools. So let's proceed on how it function, or I think a quick tutorial on how to use Voyant tools. Okay, so pag-click natin sa link earlier, yung link na binigay ko, ito yun, dito tayo, voyant-tools.org. So, mapupunta tayo dito. You can see this. You'll see this, and then, wait. Then, here, uh, as you can see here, pwede mong i-paste or i-type or i-paste lang yung literary piece na gusto mo. And I think it is good for poem, yung mga mababang piece lang na pwede nating i-copy paste lang. So you can just copy and paste the text here. But then if it's a file, recommended siya na gawin kapag novels. It is we just have to click this upload or open, then nandun na we just need to choose the piece, the file that we wanted to uh, analyze from our document. So here, ito naman is it's an archive, no? It's an archive wherein it's part of digital humanities pa din. As you can if you can remember, I mentioned earlier that one of the thing that digital humanities offers is the digital archives. So doon tayo makaka-access ng literary works, or yung mga author, they actually upload those texts, they upload their pieces sa digital archives, and we can other readers can access those. And this one is an example of digital archive. So how to access this? We just have to if you can see, may link tayo dito, and gothenburg.org lang. We just have to search that, and then mapupunta tayo dito sa website na to, and then we just have to search for the we just have to search for the author or the specific text that we wanted, and then may mag-a-appear dito, for instance ditong Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, and we have to click that, and then may mag-show, and then we just have to choose kung i-download natin yung text, whether we download the text or the file. So in my case, mas convenient sa akin na ang i-download yung file, and then but the things to note is that pag offline, and if we click that file, hindi siya yung mag-open na parang sa PDF. It opens only kapag may internet, and it's a good thing din kasi pwede natin siyang gamitin yung file na yun na na-save natin sa Voyant Tools. So that is what I did. So here, from the previous website, I downloaded four. Wait. Okay, so in my case, nag-download ako ng uh, 4 different novels by Jane Austen. So the author only is see Jane Austen here. So yeah, it's just the different novels. And then you just have to find the document or yung file na pinaglagyan nyo, and then just copy them and then click them, and then click to open, and then mapupunta na tayo ulit dito. And then you just have to click the reveal. Ito. So mag-upload na yung files, and then pag na-upload na, ito yung magiging mukha um, ng website after natin ma-upload yun. So here, we have series, reader, we have trends, we have summary, and context. See, from here, makikita natin yung word na Mr., yung blue uh, as the biggest one. And from here, makikita na natin blue, siya yung most mentioned. Ito yung word frequencies on how frequent the word is used. Actually, ito yung, di ba, ito yung 4 novels that I uploaded. So, from here, uh, here are the novels that I uploaded. So, from here, makikita natin na from first novel to second novel is that yung frequency ng pag-use ng word na Mr. So, here naman is reference ng reader or copy ng reader. If we click word here, then na-mention siya from other side or other passages, then it highlights those also. So here we have summary, wherein it's a summary of the informations, the data that we get uh, that we get from this from 4 novels. Then context, ito yung how the word is used in the passages. So, pwede natin siyang ma-enlarge. We just have to uh, put the arrow here, banda, and then if hindi pa siya natin siya nalalagay, it's actually like this. Wala siyang, hindi natin makikita yung choices. But then, if we put here, we just have to click this one, ito, export, and export natin siya. And dito is sa option. So, we have to click this para mas ma-enlarge. So, here. So, from this, pwede na, ito yung results, yung makikita natin dito, yung Mr. as the most frequent one na-use ng word. And then, sometimes there are words that we think is unnecessary naman. Tulad niyan, Mr., yung Miss, Mrs., yung Emma, which is actually the name of the um, main character sa Emma na novel ni Jane Austen, and uh, many more. But then we can actually remove those. So we just have to go here like this. And then i-click natin dito yung banda, yung option, which is dito banda, we can edit the words that we wanted to remove. For example, sa Pride and Prejudice, you can just use AI to ask for the words or unnecessary words like pronoun na hindi you think na hindi naman ganun uh, ka-importante sa pag-analyze ng post. You just have to ask for those pwede na sa AI. Then, copy and paste it here para yun yung ma-remove. Ma-remove yun. So, yung mga importanteng vocabulary lang yung matira. So, yeah, just have to confirm it. Then, mabago na yung words doon sa word cloud, and yung mga kailangan lang, lulutaw na doon yung mga terminologies that will actually help you to identify kung, ito, baka ito yung theme. For example, na most na-change dun yung mas malaki na yung word na love. So you can see na, the author is very romantic when it comes to writing kasi this is the most frequent one that he used. So it's raining today. I really hope that this presentation uh, is still audible to everyone. So next, other than uh, word cloud, we have this link. So dito makikita natin uh, mapupunta pa rin tayo, or if we did not edit, edit this, ang lalabas pa rin dito yung word na nakita natin kanina tulad ng mga mister na malalaki masyado, Mrs., Miss. But then, ang maganda din dito is pwede natin siyang i-edit. Here, you can just clear all those listed words na sinadjust or nasabi niya, and then you just have to clear that and then search for the word na you wanted to think. For instance, sa Pride and Prejudice kasi was mentioned, uh, it is, the genre is romance. So, pwedeng align doon. For, if it's in the social issues, pwedeng search yung mga politics and stuff like that. So, in this case, I searched for marriage, for woman, for love, for husband. Kasi sila connect. Yun yung alam ko na nag-exist sa Pride and Prejudice, since that's the only novel that I read sa novel ni Jane Austen. I mean, uh, list the summary, okay, the movie that I watch, movie adaptation. So here, makikita natin kung paano nagko-connect yung mga word. For instance, the love is connected to wives, the husband is connected to wives, uh, the woman, as we know, sa Pride and Prejudice, they they are bound to marry at a very young age to save themselves, because they rely only to their husbands, so uh, they have to marry even at the very young age. So that's how we can uh, manipulate this part dito sa link. Pwede natin siyang i-clear, pwede natin change yung context and stuff like that. You just decide. Next is, uh, other than that, pwede pa natin siya makakita ng other, just like this. You just have to um, click something here, yung window type, yung mukha, and then it gives you this. Then you have to just choose. In my case, I choose the visualization tools, and and in form of bubble lines. So bubble lines yung um, chosen form ng pag-visualize ng information. So what we got is this. Okay, so dito, again, pwede tayong mag-customize kung ano yung gusto nating makita. For instance, these are the four novels So, I believe this is the Pride and Prejudice, if I'm not mistaken. So, I searched for the word young and woman. Hindi lang makita yung woman dito banda, but then here, makikita natin, woman is, here is the orange one, and the young is the blue. So, siguro itong si Jane Austen, we can say that uh, he is a romantic author wherein um, she is fond to write uh, romantic stories of young people. And then from here, pwede nating maisip, baka it tells the story of Emma from the young age na makita natin to, becoming a woman that she is. So, it really depends if after we read the novel or a piece, pwede nating makita dito kung paano nag-evolve ang theme or ang story from the very beginning at the to the end, up to the end. So that's another function of it, and pwede pang mag-explore and many more. But then those are things that I learned in this. So another thing is this, ito nasabi ko kanina, is a copy or ano lang siya ng reader, basis lang siya ng reader. If we click this word use, and then nag-exist din siya sa other, pwede din siyang ma-highlight. So, that's it. It's a guide actually to readers. So, we have next is the trend. Naman banda, in this part, uh, this is the summary of the 4 novels that I uploaded. Ito, makikita natin dito the document length. Ang pinaka-longest is Emma. I believe this is The Pride and Prejudice, and the other were the other novels that I uploaded. Hindi ko maalala ang title. But yeah, actually, it's a summary information na kailangan mo. For instance, the names, kung how many times it was mentioned, the count of words. Yung 4 documents is my 505,615 total words, and then my 12,700 unique word forms, and then yeah, makikita lang dito kung gaano katagal mo gaano katagal na ito siya na ano. So it was 9 minutes ago when I searched for this, from the time I searched for this and sa screenshot ng page. So yeah, the other were information that you need that might help you in having in leading uh, to the generalization of your analysis to the text. So, yeah, that's it, the summary. Pwede natin siyang, very konti lang itong na-provide niya na data. But then, if you wanted to get more data from it, pwede mo siyang slide ito from left to right, and then mas madaming information yung ibibigay sa'yo. Though, kapag konti, siguro yung information lang that is, for instance, word frequency from 10,000 words to 5,000 words to 10,000 words. So yeah, proceed. Next is this context. Okay, so ma-enlarge pa din siya. How ba? You just have to click yung sa upper part kanina, and then just click the export. So here makikita natin how the word is used in the context or the passage. So in this case, yung Mr. was used after the word had Miss Taylor been in, tapos Mr. blah blah blah, and then right naman is the word is used before this word, this lines. Mr. Woodhouse family, Mr. Woodhouse family, this as ganun ganun. So that's how that is what in or that how Voyant tools shows yung frequency ng word and how it is used in the context. The end of my discussion. I hope that you learned something from it. And yeah, the following 3 here will be discussed by my partner, Miss Bayhana Sailila. So thank you so much for listening.